So here's the situation. When you were very young and you were just starting to crawl, and then you were just starting to walk, and you were just starting to talk, that will be the most authentic that you will ever be in your lifetime, unless you're one out of maybe 1,000 people. Most people will never be authentic again. Authentic means you have to be abnormal. The new normal. You know, I have a master class in the library called The Domino Effect of Normal Living. You have to understand that you do need to find your tribe to a certain degree. Because for most of you, your family's never going to follow you. Your friends are never going to follow you. You might have one from the old crew. The rest will put up with you. It takes bravery to change. But it doesn't take bravery to change if you're not changing into something unique in your authentic self. It doesn't take bravery at all to change into what the herd is, or the majority of the population. It doesn't take any bravery to change and become a statistic. What do I mean? Well, somebody gets diagnosed with stage 4 inflammation, which they call cancer. And the reality is this: it takes bravery to change, to come up against the emergency system, not the healthcare system, because medical system is an emergency system. And to actually come up against somebody wearing a white coat. And the whole medical system is a religion, the strongest one in the world. Somebody puts on a white coat, you're programmed to not disrespect them. I didn't say honor them, I said not to disrespect them. Because they are higher than you, they're more powerful than you, they're more intelligent than you, and all of this has just been programming over the last 125 years. So when somebody has a white coat on, they can basically say anything, and it can be totally ridiculous, and you're going to go for it. Unless you're going to rewire, you're going to expire very quickly. And you're going to expire every day, expire, all right? What am I talking about? You're going to be sweating, okay? So somebody this morning, you know, something is going to be happening in their life that's so exciting. And they took the excitement, and because the subconscious goes, this is bigger than you've ever had something in maybe years, maybe 10, 20, 30 years. You haven't had something that could be this fabulous, and you're at the center of it. Subconscious goes, well, we've never done this before, so now I'm just going to crap my pants and you're coming with me. Because everybody has been taught that fear is what we live with, and you do it all day long. I don't live with any fear. I think you noticed that, right?
Yes.
Whatever I may lose on this physical plane, big deal. When I finally understood that which people call God, some people call Source, some people call it Jehovah, you know, call it whatever you want. When I realized that, you know, I'm not saying, I'm not a fool. I don't think God actually created my body. I think my spirit is part of that system. You know, I know that, you know, something loved me so much it created me. So I know that which created me honor, loves, and respects me. So I'm going to change everything about that. I'm not going to fear that. I had a conversation with someone yesterday and overseas. And you know, the only problem the person has is, and they would tell you they're not religious, but the only problem they have is religion. So whether you're religious or not, I guarantee you're religious. You've been rocked to the core with guilt, judgment. You've been rocked to the core. And you may not, if I said close your eyes and picture God, most of you wouldn't picture the greatest energy system, which you couldn't even picture. You don't have the imagination to do it. Most of you would actually see an older man. Most of you wouldn't even maybe see a man, but it would be more of a male figure. I mean, everybody walks around saying he. How low vibrational is that? The last day I'd want a man to be in control of the universe. Probably sell it off. All I'm trying to say is this: you better rewire or expire. And you know what? You may think that you're always talking in a positive way, but how often am I correcting throughout the day? I mean, I got people that came on here on the last day when we did talk here, okay? And I think 3 people came on, and because I watched the feed. I learned from it. I always can expand and grow. Okay, I'm perfect right now, but I promise you I'll change. I'm an unlimited, high potential, electronic, magnetic, light energy being. So change is what I will always be. So I see that, you know, and it's mainly women. You cut that woman off. You cut that woman off. You cut that woman off. Well, I do, don't I? I cut you guys off, don't I? But I don't cut you off because I'm male. I don't cut you off because I'm arrogant. What they don't understand is that you're here for a teaching to rewire. So if the subconscious is controlling the actual conversation, how many people here can now tell when somebody's trying to sound positive and then right on the end of it, they have this little tail that whips back on them? So anyways, this person that I was talking to overseas, very nice guy, very nice, very nice. Doesn't realize that because they go along and they're doing really good, and then they go and they have to do alcohol or drugs. And we were talking, they said, well, I have to do it because of guilt. Right? Because I'm guilty. And guilty of what? Not measuring up? I'm going, you don't actually do it because of guilt. You actually do it, okay, because you have belief systems, okay? Okay, you have belief systems that don't allow you to be you. Allowing you to be you should never ever have to forgive yourself again. You should never ever ever have to make anybody tell you they're sorry to you. You should never have to do that again. We don't have a justice system for ourselves, so and do you know why? Because there's none in the world. Tell me one court that's actually a justice system. You know, unless it's based on unconditional love, learning, not burning, not jail time. But we give each other jail time and it's an invisible jail, right? Something happened to you. How's it feel now? Are you out of jail yet? When do you think you'll be out of jail? When do you think the other person that you're involved with this situation, when will they be out of jail? Or will you both be going to jail in separate jails? Do you see? And then depending how long you put someone in jail, you put yourself in jail, will depend on the belief system that somebody gave you that was corrupt. So I said to this person, the only reason why you have to do the drugs and the alcohol is guess what? is you cannot continually live with not being good enough. Because if you're not good enough, and I don't want parents to be upset with me, but we tell our babies, unconditional love for you. Throw up on me, poop on me, keep me up all night. But when you start to walk and talk like mommy and daddy, you're getting punished. And then the whole judgment thing starts, because we were judged when we were younger and we don't even know it. But you become what you got. You can't give what you're not. I refuse to be angry at anybody. And trust me, I'm getting lots of practice here on these platforms. Do not care what anyone says about you if you're coming from that God spot in your heart. Do not. And if you think that you are not going to act like the majority of the population, you're not going to think like them, drink like them, eat like them, you think you're going to have an easy ride, well, it's going to be a lot easier because it'll be your ride. I'm getting off the pain train. Everybody's allowed to judge me. I'd like to hear it. And then we'll talk it over and I'll go, wow, there's a gold nugget. Thank you. But what if we actually observed each other? You know, I've been observing you, Daryl, and can I make a suggestion? Absolutely, because I can't see it. I can't see it. That's what husband and wives, that's what friends, that's what brothers and sisters should do. That's what family should do. You allow me to say the most ridiculous things to you that you would be so angry with somebody else outside that door. It's how I say it, because I always come from my heart. I'm never going to come from my mind, that I know better. Remember something, if you can love unconditionally and come from your heart, you're not going to be in trouble when you try to help out your brother, your sister, your family, your friend, whoever. And guess what? This is how you do it. You know, I love you and I've been thinking about something and I'd really like to share this with you. Is that okay? No. Okay, then I won't. Or yes, share it. And then you say what you need to with a soft but strong voice. And at the end of it, just go, I love you, and I hope that that's a gift, and I hope that you'll do the same for me, that you'll actually risk that we can both crack the coconut from the inside out and grow together. What do you think about what I just said? Do you feel like I put you down, or do you think that I meant well? And you discuss it, because you both have to strategize against a subconscious that's been programmed for 150,000 years. And guess what? All disease is epigenetic. There are no genetic diseases. We found that out with the Genome Project, if you want to go look it up. But most people won't, because guess what? As long as we have a genetic disease, we don't have to take responsibility. But just know they made it up so they could feed off of you. And everything goes back to the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, J.P. Morgan. I could keep going, but who cares? The reality is you're never going to be sovereign unless you understand that you have to rewire or expire. And the last 15, 20 years, you know what? You'll be wishing you were dead, but scared to die. Because until you have unconditional love for yourself, you'll never know that which created the universe has that for you. And most of the people that, guess what, that are involved in religion, and I'm not putting them down, all of them, or any of them, okay, believe that which created the whole universe is just watching us all the time. Like they are, they want to put their cameras up everywhere. How does that feel? How does that feel? Your government. So now we've made God into our government. Government. That's not true. It's not true. It's not true. I just love this part. He'll get his, they'll get theirs. You watch if anybody goes to jail that should have went to jail over the last 3 years. Be quiet. Well, they'll get theirs when they go to heaven because they're going to hell. You know, why can't we just mind our own business and have heaven for ourselves? We allow these people to create hell for us, and then we create hell for ourselves even more by always talking about how they're going to get theirs. Why aren't you minding your own business and getting yours? If you don't rewire, you will expire. And if you don't expire, you're going to wish you did, because you are going to have so much disease because you're not at ease, because you're not in harmony, you're not in alignment, and you made God into a terrorist. And that's the truth. And I am not starting a religion. I have got no cult going on here. Do not follow me, because you will not want to go where I'm going. Because I want to go where no man has ever gone before. Okay, and that is just unconditional love for everybody on this planet, no matter what they say, think, drink, or do. And I'll mind my own business. And those things that terrorize me, I will go look somewhere else. Because I keep telling you, when you go to a buffet, there's so much food there. You don't go around going, I hate this and I hate that, I hate this. No, 2 seconds later, you got your mouth full. So focus on only what you want. So I'm telling you right now that most people do drugs and alcohol not because they're bad people or they're guilty, but they have to get away from the personality that they believe that is them, and it's not. When I did drugs and alcohol when I was younger, I was trying to escape because I wasn't good enough for my parents. I wasn't good enough in school. Who in the hell could be good enough in school? What the hell is that? What a bunch of bullshit. God. The last 2 years of school, I quit when I was in grade 11. I just thought, this is asinine. And then I went back again. And then the only way I could make it through was have a toke at least by lunch. You know, okay? All right? I needed some happiness in my life. I'm serious. You know what? Don't you dare tell me why we don't have drug addicts and alcoholics. Shit. And then the majority of the population push this bullshit down young, spirited people. I'd go there too. I'm not good enough for myself, so I got to become something else. And to become something else, you've got to go somewhere else. And how do you do that? With alcohol and drugs. That's why we all went there. Because you know what? We were promised unconditional love from our parents until we couldn't have it anymore. But they never really did. The only reason why they could do unconditional love is because we were unconditional love. When we became adulterated by our parents, God loved them anyway, and by the schools and the fools and all the stupid rules, okay, that's when we had to become something else. I'm lucky I'm alive. I mean, everything that I ever did, I put my heart into it. When I was dropping drugs, I put my heart into it. For a while, I put my heart into drinking alcohol. And then for a while, I went and put my heart into seeing how many women I could be with. Because I needed to. Because guess what? I was young, I was vibrant, and everybody said that your love sucks. So I didn't love myself at all. So, you know, and then somebody says, oh my God, you're going through girlfriends like crazy. And well, I just, because I was feasting. The reality is that if you don't love yourself, you got to go somewhere else to get it. So if you can't find, I was looking for love in all the wrong places. I wasn't going inside myself. I get it, So I thought I was very abusive to women. But the reality is I needed their love to actually stay here. My vibration was so high that I needed women to feed me so I could keep it high. And understand that. Guys, you can think I'm a nut job, but I figured it out. I just hope they all enjoyed it. No, and they did not. They did not. I know that. I apologize. They did not. Just think if I would have loved and cared for myself and filled up my own heart, I wouldn't be like a woman eater. Okay? All right? Understand that. We've all been set up. So let's not get pissed off at each other. Don't get pissed off at people for their color, their religion, their language, what they say and what they do. We're all in survival mode, for God's sakes. That's why we're killing each other. Because we're in survival mode. When you're in survival mode, will you kill yourself and others? Yes. So rewire or expire. Why don't you come up and talk to me, Dina?
Take this one off.
So why don't we listen to a little bit of Dina's story? I mean, where she was, where she is, where she wants to go. And Dina works with Debbie, and they're from Stewart, right?
That's right, Stewart, Florida.
Yeah. So what would you like to tell people?
Well, I'm grateful and honored to be here today. I just love the tribe that we've created. I came here.
But understand something. Don't get this wrong, anybody. You don't come here to conform.
No.
You don't come here to fit in. Because you're going to get done in. You come here to find your authentic self. Nobody here walks and talks the same. People might start off mimicking the different things that I've put together over the years, but nobody is allowed to follow in my footsteps. You stay in your own power. You find your passion, you find your purpose, you find your gift, and you take everything that you can learn from me and everyone else, and you make it yours, and you brand it yours.
You know, we can only connect the dots going backwards. So I'm going to start with today. I came here on a purpose. I'll start there. In August.
Take over.
Okay. In August, I found a bump on my left breast. And, okay, we'll go for a mammogram just to find out. I did a thermography in September. Everything was great. I could compare it to 2015. Actually, it was better than 2015. The stress is less in my life. Make the story short. We're going to get into it. So the bump gets a mammogram. Of course, we call you back. We want to do a ultrasound. Fine, we're going to do the ultrasound. We're going to look, find out. So this one you're going to like, guys. So, of course, the assistant of the doctor calls me and she says, well, Dina, they don't know what it is, but they'd like for you to go for a biopsy. So those words, first of all, I said, okay, well, now you stop talking right now. Nothing is going to enter in my mind, and I'm going to tell you, I am not going to get cut, burned, zapped, poisoned. So you need to listen to what I need to tell you. I said, I'm going to do it my way. We have a cell-sonic. We know this method, the Wolf non-surgical. I know what to do to release this bump. Whether you know or not, we know it's not what you think it is. Of course, the doctor, an hour later, calls me. Dr. Matilski, I've had a relationship with her for 5 years. Love her. And she goes to speak. I said, Doc, again, I need to speak first. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, and I'm going to send you emails on the cell-sonic, the Wolf non-surgical. I've sent you this information months ago and years ago, but obviously you haven't listened or worked. I'm going to tell you the way I'm going. You're either in the ride or we cut it off right now. So she says, well, no. So I said, my route. This is where we're going. This is what we're doing. I'm going to send you my website. That's it. She said, but I want to tell you what they said. I said, I'll let you just say that. Listen to this. Suggestive malignancy. Doc, I said, am I possibly suggestive pregnant? She goes, no, you're right. Am I pregnant or am I not? I said, let me tell you, they're covering their ass. They want to poke me,
right.
cut me, burn me, because it's more money in their pocket.
Yeah.
I'm not going that way. I've always done that. And I said, now I had slacked off a bit until I came back into this group. And I met Doc 3 years ago. I said, this is who I am. This is truly I am inside. I'm a warrior, and I go to the core of the reason. And I was like that in my 20s. Just so you know, my son's 36. He drank rice milk at the age of 4. Why? Because dairy was causing him to have ragweed infection when the season came along where he couldn't breathe. And I researched it. I was 25 years old. So I knew this, and then I lost a little bit of myself, and then came back, and now I'm back. The warrior's back, and no one's cutting, burning, or poisoning me. Okay, so we've been working together with the Cellsonic, with, of course, all our nutraceuticals, and this. Guys, this, if I was your normal average person, suggestive malignancy, oh my God. I'd call my whole family. Guess what? You're the only ones that know apart from 5 people, because whatever you give attention to will grow. Whatever you give energy will blow. So I am not giving it energy. 5 people knew about this because we're not giving it energy. We're going to give it love. I'm going to instruct, direct my cells to reverse. Listen, I had, of course, a increase of breast, right? They went through the underarm. I didn't want scars. I wanted a doctor that's going to cut me under the arm and put an implant under the muscle. That was what I wanted 20 years ago. Well, that scar, when you touch the bump, you can feel the connection to the scar. You know it's a scar tissue. And with Debbie's experience too, and mine, we know it's fibrotic tissue. But here I wanted to be part of this lesson, so that you're not scared because the doctor says, no. I said, no, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I did not open any of the letters that came to me saying, here's your report. I did not look at the CDs. I have them all. Why would I read this? Put that in my mind so that I fuel it and it becomes it, and then I'm afraid. I'm not afraid. I'm so not afraid. And this is what you need to understand, is that the mind is very powerful, and the power that created you is a power that heals you. I'm a sound practitioner, and I always say, I'm the conduit. Your body does the healing, and this is what people have taken away from us, the power of self-healing. And while they numb you, dumb you down, you're just, I have a client, well, I'm not going to go into the client, but again, it is your mindset and everything. And I was a warrior when my son was little, and they tried to give him like 30 allergy shots to figure out what shot he was allergic to. He was 4, and he kicked the thing. He goes, no! Well, guess what? I left. She says, you're going to let a 4-year-old dictate? I said, I sure am. Let's get out of here. And that's where I began my research of natural healing and health healing. And even at 29, she says, well, you have irregular, vaginal balance. I said, I'll cure myself. Thank you very much. I'm out of here. 3 months later, it was balanced. I added a few products at the time, primrose oil, vitamin C, just the things that I was reading about. And you become your practitioner here. No one's going to tell me I'm going to get cut, burned, and poisoned. I'm not going into the emergency system. So now we've been treating it. I've been treating it too with castor oil, which is wonderful. It's an add-on. You do everything possible in the way you eat. And I said, first of all, Doc, I'm not one of your cancer candidate. It'll never come into me. I don't even say the words. Now I said it now, but I said, I'm not a candidate. I don't eat sugar, gluten. I don't drink alcohol. I don't, so I said, eat meat. What else do you want? I said, how can you say that? She goes, okay, I'm going to take the ride with you. So she's taking the ride with me. So I'm here for more information with you, just because I want to prove it. I'm proving it all the way, and I know it's a scar tissue. I can feel it. It also pulls into my neck. So you have the underarm, in the front, and every day we're measuring it, sending love, sending pure energy. But again, guys, it's the mind, the mind, the mind, the mind. Anything they tell you, you can say no to it. You can say no to it, and now you have your tribe. You call us, you call Doc, you say, hey, this is going on. And then you learn, and you do it, and you apply it, and no one's going to cut me, burn me, and poison me. No one.
So if anybody wants to get in touch with you, how can they? Because there might be some people here that might want to ask you some questions.
Our practice is StewartHealthAndHealing.com. My phone number is 786-488-7782. Debbie's number, if you want to sell Sonic, is 305-342-9559. And look me up, Dina Rejo. And if you want to ride in a sound healing, well, it's soundvibration.net. So thank you.
Thank you. So just know that, not all surgery is bad, but understand that surgery causes more scar tissue than anything else on this planet. Nothing causes more. Every time somebody finishes and they get surgery, whether they needed it, didn't need it, whatever the case may be, that is going to leave beef jerky scar tissue. Now, we create that with our minds by dumping adrenaline, histamines, cortisol all the time. And you'll create it wherever the emotional block that you can't process, it'll be trapped in your tissues, and that's why it's issues in your tissues, because we are emotional beings, and if we can't process everything with love, then we will store it in our bodies until we recognize that love is the only thing that can process the bullshit that's on this planet. So if you don't understand that love is an ingredient, and if you don't know how to use it, okay, it is your greatest weapon, and I mean weapon, in that it will dismantle any war, okay? But it has to be self-love, or else it's only temporary, and we have to be the ones to trigger it. And until we know, you have to trigger it continually with yourself until it becomes a prominent, dominant program in the subconscious, and then you never do it again. Whether you want to believe it or not, is 99% of the population runs a self-hate program. Okay? And so you can believe that or not. Don't really care. You can just see it. Okay? All right? You can just see it everywhere. And it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse because people live in an unconscious, subconscious state. All right? They believe that what the majority does is that's as good as it gets. And tell me I'm wrong. Because when you go to a doctor, they will give you a diagnosis of the majority of the population, whatever that is. And whether you like this or not, every 5 to 7 years, they are dropping the degree of what a healthy body is. Because every 5 to 7 years, they look at the majority and they go, okay, if the majority is pre-diabetic, then that's normal now. I'm not kidding. I'm not making this up. Okay? So the reality is, now when they tell you you're doing great for a 40-year-old, they're actually giving you the average 40-year-old's health and telling you you're doing great. If that 40-year-old is actually 70 now, okay, with the way they feel and the way they look, I mean, tell me 40-year-olds look great. Okay, there are some that look great, but most do not look great. But guess what? Most of them are comfortable. Why? Because most of them look the same. Okay? Okay? It doesn't matter. Most 40-year-olds are 3 months to 18 months pregnant. And that's because they're rotting out. But because the majority rules, you can just sit there and rot out and everybody's just smiling at each other, handing each other taco chips and beer. And, you know, people are saying, I'm being a smartass, but I'm not. I'm not being a smartass. It's true. People don't like the truth. And the majority rules. And remember something, if you want to tell the truth and the majority of that organization, that church, that school, that system, okay, all right, they get to decide whether or not you're a pain in their butt. Okay? What a liar. I mean, you know, people want to make each other feel comfortable, don't they? Think about it. How many people actually can tell the truth to themselves because they can't? Their subconscious will lie, cry, and justify to protect prominent, dominant beliefs, even if it's murdering you right now. And you know that most of you felt like you were murdering yourselves before you came here to this course. And it's not because I'm special. All I did was go, oh, and you went, oh, and you woke up for a minute and went, holy crap. That's all. That's all. You have everything you already need inside of you. You're running a self-hate program, and the world runs a self-hate program. How in the heck do we actually allow these people to build all these tanks and weapons, okay? And then we go to war with nations. We don't even know their names. They did nothing to us. We've been doing it now for over, for thousands and thousands of years. And then those who win the war get to write the history books, don't they? Huh? I think it's great. You know, this is Thanksgiving, isn't it? For Canadians yesterday. And yours will be here pretty soon. And guess what? Columbus did not sit down and eat with the Indians. He ate the Indians. So the reality is you bullshit yourself all you want. Okay? All right? They stuff you full of bullshit, and then they stuff the turkey that you're going to overeat and then be on the couch going, oh, am I going to have a heart attack or a fart attack? You know, well, we're so easily programmed. And I'm not telling you, I think Thanksgiving is a nice time where families can come together, but usually they don't get along. What? Okay, so the reality is this. Love is the answer, but only if it's self-served. If you're relying on your friends, the family, the world to love you, guess what? Isn't it great how they can play ransom with you? Here you go. Here you go. Open your mouth. Come on. Up. There you go. Oh, you missed it. Later. Okay. See? You think I'm kidding? That's what we do to each other. Tell me I didn't do that to every woman I knew. Because I needed some kind of power. Just think, if you had self-love, you don't need to steal anybody's thunder. You have your own. People might get it, and they probably won't, and that's okay too. Because I'm going to mind my own business, because I'm the one that's off the hook. Even though people try to put me on the hook. What's he up to? What's he trying to prove? Okay, this is too weird. Right? Right? Okay? Remember something. Just because everybody's doing it doesn't make it right. Oh, if you think about that one today. And just because nobody's doing it doesn't make it wrong. Most of the population's going off the cliff. Don't go with them. Don't go with them. How easy is it to run a herd of cattle or a herd of sheep off a cliff? Yeehaw! So don't panic. Don't freak out. Stay calm. Don't run anywhere. Especially don't run yourself down. And that's what we do. We run ourselves down. Nobody has to do it for us anymore. Huh? 100%. 100%. Right? Some of us will stay up all night. And I had to work it out. What did you have to work out? Well, I had to work out and just really try to convince my subconscious that I'm not a bad person. Really? Isn't that cool? Are you with me yet? Yes. Did you get it? Okay. All right. Don't fall asleep in class. Okay. Understand, our belief systems will always run us. I know mine might disturb a lot of people, but it's none of their business. I don't come into their lives, but it disturbs them because guess what? Who are you to let yourself off the hook? Most people's religion has already fried their ass, and it's frying it every day. And if it's not that, they have no self-esteem. Somebody can just say one thing. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Oh, really? Well, maybe you should sleep under the bed. Where do we get these goofiness from? Everybody is running a program. The world will never see me depressed or sad. And it's not because I'm faking it until I make it. My sadness, my grieving, my mourning, my anger, my jealousy, my depression, what good does it do? And when you guilt yourself, how long do you stay guilty for? until you are not at ease, until you have a dis-ease, which is only a symptom of self-hate. Disease is caused because of self-hate. Oh, people are going to love this. Disease is caused because of self-hate. Disease is caused because of self-hate. I don't hate myself. Let me tell you something. You run a program that you are hating yourself, and the program was put into you without your acceptance and your awareness. This is my personality. Really? See if you can get an upgrade. I call BS. It's not your personality. Nobody has their own personality until they're unconditionally in love with themselves, minding their own business, and not focusing on the things that everybody else hates. Did you get that? End of story. Guess what? You've all been sucker punched, but guess what? You said that you could come down to a life-threatening, fun-filled adventure, and somebody could rule and school you and screw you over, okay, and tell you this is as good as it could get, and then you were just supposed to see through the BS, the belief system. And you were supposed to write your own, and that was it. And I don't care what book you read. I don't care what book you read. Unless it's based on unconditional love, and it's not shackling you with a chokehold of some sort of unworthiness, I call BS. Yeah, but this book is 20,000 years old. Okay? Really? That's great. Out with the old, in with the new, because I love me and I love you. Thank you.